Hey everybody, Prepper Nurse 1 here. There's all the pups hanging out. Gangus's ears just recently went up. He's got both of them up now. The only one that doesn't have his ears up yet now is Zeus, the all black one. He's the only one that doesn't have his ears all the way up now. Caesar's ears have been up, and Anubis, her ears have been up. But see how his ears are more up now? He's huge. He's got huge ears, Gangus does. Look at those ears. So, but yeah, they're going to be big dogs. I can see it. They're going to be really big, which I hope. I hope they get real big. That would be cool. So anyway, all right, getting back into this video here. I wanted to actually, we can go check eggs again as well while we're talking. So here's what I wanted to talk about. We talk about grid down situations and what would happen and blah, blah, blah and all that. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a grid down situation. Let's say people were up in arms and all kinds of things were happening. And, and I've talked about martial law before, okay? And, people were like, oh, well, this, the country's too big. You can't enact martial law. Well, like I said, again, I'm going to give you my opinion. Definitely want to hear your feedback, what you guys think. But here's my opinion of that. If they enacted martial law, all they have to do, just like, there's only one more. So we ended up with 3 eggs today. So Miss Betty White obviously laid. I got 2 brown eggs earlier in the day. So anyway, going back to what I was going to say. They don't have to control every single thing, okay? They can shut down the cities, control the cities, put in a curfew, and people would have to abide by that. Cut off the highways. And all they got to do to make people comply, like out in the country, realistically, is just cut off supplies. Cut off gasoline, cut off food, cut off the power. And I'll tell you what, a whole bunch of people would get in line really, really quickly, and I've talked about that a little bit before in other videos. You will comply, all right? We can have all the tough talk we want. We can say all the things that we want to say, but the majority of people in this country have not suffered. So I'm telling you right now, in my opinion, and I'm going to say 90%. 90% of people are going to comply. They're going to do what they're told, okay? This is not like the vax. That's a whole different thing. But if you're out and they said, well, if you come in, you have to give up X, Y, and Z, like your guns or whatever and stuff like that, people would hide them and do all that sort of thing as well, which would be, I'm actually going to set this up here for right now, which would absolutely, be the case, But the problem is this. If they're trying to get you to come in, all right, where they control cities or where they control large areas, all they got to do, like I said, they cut off supplies of everything. So no food is coming in, no power, no water, And again, most people are not set up to be able to deal with or handle that. They're just not. Eventually, like say out here where I'm at, people are going to run out of gas. And when they run out of gas, unless they have horses, which some of the people out here have horses, there's not going to be any transportation. Or if a bicycle or something to that effect. Or you're walking on foot. Most people are not prepared in this country, as we know. 93% of the people in this country are not prepared for a 2-week disaster, let alone anything longer. So there's another issue, all right? No food, very quickly people will go, all right, I give up. How many people have a wood stove? And think about that, right? How many people that you know out there actually have wood stoves? So you cut off power, you cut off all that type of stuff. No air conditioning, no heat, all those type of things. And unless you have a wood stove, there's not much you're going to be able to do about that if it's wintertime. So there's a lot of things that people don't take into consideration when it comes to what would you do, all right? And again, the biggest one I've always said, you know, if you have somebody who is sick in your family, if you have a child that has something that could be treatable, you're going to go in. You're going to give yourself up because you're going to want that child to live. I don't think there's too many people that would say, you know, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to let that child die. So, I mean, there's that part of it as well. And then we got to throw in one more thing. Look at the number of people on medications, folks. We are the most heavily medicated country in the world. We're the most heavily medicated country in the world. So, all those people that are on different meds, you know, want to be tough guys and stuff like that and say, well, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. You know, once their meds run out, you know, and unless things have changed, you know, they're going to give up. You know, they're going to give up. So there's a lot to it that people don't get or don't understand. Now, don't get me wrong. Am I saying, oh, I'm going to stand out here and do this or I'm going to do that? I'm going to try to last as long as I can, because the last thing I want to do is give up. I am not a quitter. You know, that's just not in my DNA. So, you know, getting things squared away, that's what I'm going to try to do. I'm not going to be playing any games. You know, that's why, you know, folks, we do what we're doing down here, so that a group of us can take care of ourselves and be as independent as possible. You know, I'll give you an example of something that's going to be happening here coming up next month, okay? Dave has got, he picked up a solar rack. So we're going to get his solar panels mounted for him, because he's got solar panels, and he's going to have, you know, he's got his system already, and so, you know, he can mount those solar panels, and he's going to be in really good shape with that. You know, I mean, he's going to have his own independent system completely. You know, I know other people are working towards that as well. So if you have more than one source, you're not relying on that one source, because again, what's it, the Navy SEALs say, one is none and two is one. So, you know, it's like multiples. So having my solar system, Dave will have his solar system. I know Mark has talked about doing it. Rob has talked about doing it. I know Bud has talked about doing it. So, you know, we could have multiple places on the property where we can have solar, charging stations, all those type of things. And that is important. That is really, really important. So something to think about. I want you guys to think about that, because it really does make a huge difference overall with things. If you have that opportunity, you know, to think about that. I mean, it's just, most people are going to give up. Most people are going to quit. I mean, they may say they're not going to, but most people will. Even out here, if they can't get a hold of their drugs and their beer and, you know, their creature comforts that they're used to. Most people are so used to creature comforts, they're not going to want to give them up. So I want to hear your thoughts. Will you quit? Will you give up? Or will you try to last as long as you possibly can? You know, that's, like I said, for me, I'm going to try to last as long as I can. You know, and if that means keeping a low profile and doing that type of thing, that's exactly what I'm going to do. So anyway, guys, I'm going to jump off of here. Pups are doing great. God, they're getting so big. Look at him. Look at Caesar next to his mama, and even Zeus. I mean, they're almost half as big as her already. So yeah, it's crazy how big these dogs are going to get. I can't wait. Can't wait to see what size we get out of these guys. All right, folks. I will talk to you all later. Prepper Nurse 1 out for now.